Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Team League. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. We're the Casting Archon, and we have a pretty sick matchup here today. I couldn't really ask for a better one. I am against NS Hoseo. And this is, a really interesting match for a special reason, because I am, generally we say, is the best team, right? Am I right?
As far as people know, I'm not even here, Tasteless. Yeah, of course. You're so right. They have the most championships by far.
But when you look at NS Hoseo, they're doing by far the best.
Oh,
by
certainly.
Far the best. This is going to be a really defining moment in StarCraft 2 Team League.
IM, here they are, sickest nerd ballers. But IM and NS Hoseo, Tasteless, both the best team, but in different ways.
Right.
We have the most championships by far on this team, with Nesty at 3, MVP at 2.
Individual championships, yeah.
Lucira at 0.5. And, NS Hoseo, though, no one's really stood out aside from San. But as a team, they go so deep. They have several players that can actually take games off of the best of any team.
They actually have such an incredible lineup. When you look at players like Line, San, of course, has already proven himself. And, you got players like Sage as well.
Yes.
Now, here is a shot of IM. Let's not forget about these guys. They also have more good individual players than we can even list here. Let's take a look at them now. As you can see, here are their key players, MVP, Lucira, and Happy.
They have Nesty listed as the closer, but they never close with him, Tasteless.
Yeah, that's been a little bit weird by them. Nesty actually winning more GSLs than any person on the planet. He's actually essentially, on paper, the #1 player in the world.
Yes.
Yet, they're neglecting using him.
It's weird, man.
Even when they're on the line, even when they're down 3 games, they pull out somebody like Younghwa, not somebody like Nesty.
Nesty only plays games if it's worth $50,000.
Yeah, apparently not games for reputation, or so some would say. Now, here, as you can see, is their race lineup. And it's a pretty balanced team.
Certainly it is, yeah. 3 Protoss, 3 Zerg, and 4 Terran. That's about the right balance, man. That's nice.
Yeah, especially with Terran probably being the most played race right now in the GSL. And here is a list of all the individual players on here.
I'm Dreamer TT, the bad manner guy. I'm BP, is the team captain. I'm Jinwei, the old StarCraft 1 pro. MVP, 2-time champion. I'm Lucira, finalist of MLG and GSL. I'm Nesty, 3-time champion. I'm Seed, Tasteless.
That's my man crush.
I'm Happy, just a really good Terran. I'm Yoda, just a really smart green Jedi. And I'm Younghwa, one of my absolute favorite Protosses, one of the best Protosses in the world.
Yeah, we got a pretty wicked group of players here. It's going to be interesting to see what order they bring them out. I have to be critical of the IM coach. I don't always agree with the players he's choosing to have come out in the order they're coming out in. Now, here's a team where I really can't be critical of at all, because these guys are basically unstoppable right now in the team league. It's NS Hoseo.
A great team indeed. Has another one of my favorite Protosses, Tasteless.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is Sage.
Sage, such a smart player. Line right now, or no, rather Seal, excuse me, why am I calling him Line? Seal, currently the #1 ranked Zerg on the planet.
Oh, God, Seal, he is the sickest creep spreader, Tasteless.
Yeah.
If Seals love the ocean, Seal loves creep.
Whoa, well said, Artosis.
He's basically the BP oil spill. All right, you think that Seals didn't like that? This Seal did.
That is the creep all over the ocean.
He just likes stuff to make his units run quicker on.
Yeah, he is a solid player. And, what's funny about Hoseo is that I feel like there's a lot of players we haven't seen much of yet that are probably going to be just as good as some of the guys we talked about.
That's very true. First time we saw Sculp, he looked terrible, and then he was amazing.
Right.
Seal, first time I saw him, I think, he was godly. These Protosses like Sage. Look at this. San, Tassadar, Jakshi, and Sage. Well, I tell you what, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, I mean, this little list here doesn't really give the team the kind of justice that it deserves. What it is it's a very well-rounded, strong team.
That's very true. And, I mean, their closer man, Sage, he is definitely one of the smartest in the game right now.
Absolutely.
The way he looks at it, you can see in his play that this guy, he scouts more than any Protoss in the world, I would say.
Yeah. And as you can see, the team is a little bit Protoss heavy, a little bit Terran heavy, a little bit Zerg light.
Yes, but you only need one Zerg, man, when it's Seal.
Yeah, when it's Seal. That guy's, in case of those who don't know who Seal is, he was the player that actually manhandled Bomber so badly that he had creep going into Bomber's base. The entire map was covered in creep.
If there was a strong creep competition, it would not be Magnus Magnuson winning that. It would be Seal from NSSO.
Ooh. Wow, well said, Artosis.
Well, look at this. This is their lineup. Seal. Real Maker. We haven't seen him, really. Fairly, Jakji, Tassadar, Sage, Von Sculp, Shuttle, and Fake. I think that's what that says. It gets cut off on the monitor.
Yeah, our monitor cut that word off. But yeah, these guys are all so scary. And look, I don't know if IM can win this. IM has had some disappointing results so far. In the team. For who they are, they have.
They've had some tough rounds, man. I feel like they're the one team that I really want to just sit down and lecture on how to choose your players and when to put them out. Yeah,
and you know what you're saying is absolutely correct because they have picked some of the strangest individuals to come out in the strangest order, and they've lost. So it's not like, oh, I'm surprised you proved me wrong. It's like what we predicted when they were coming out. I'm like, well, no. And then we see it, and the result is, well, no. So when the coaches are done, they've shaken hands, a bro hug there.
Yeah, a little chest bump.
And we're going to get this going.
I cannot wait.
Well, this is such a cool match to see. Now, as you can see, Hoseo has been really dominant with 8+.
Yeah.
StarTale, after beating IM,
goes up to plus 4. Yeah. Boyu, somewhere in the middle of the pack. Of course, that's now FXO. IM at -4. ZeNEX at 0 and -8 for the original FXO.
Yeah, and in case you guys are confused by what Artosis is talking about, FXO bought Boyu.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty recent event.
Yes.
So things are changing out here in the GSL.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is an important week for IM. If they lose this, man, I think they're out of the runnings for the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially if they get slapped down like Hoseo's been doing to everybody.
Yeah, Hoseo, I never would have thought they would be #1 right now.
No one thought
StarTale,
going
sure.
in.
IM, sure.
No one knew how deep their lineup is. That is a testament to how hard Code B is. Code B is the land of the Hoseo players, man.
Yeah, they're all Code B right now.
They just crush faces, but they can't seem to get into Code A.
They're definitely a team that seems to do better when they're all together, supporting each other here.
Tasteless, with their powers combined, they are the team of the planet, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hated that cartoon.
Yeah. It was good, man.
Remember the one kid that you had the ring with Heart?
Yeah.
He's like, Heart. It's like, this is the useless ability, man. He's like, well, I'm going to talk to the Dolphins. I'm like, no, man.
Why not? Talking to dolphins can be quite helpful, man.
They're like, shark the Dolphins know that there's an oil rig over here. I'm like, the Dolphins don't know what an oil rig is. That would not be in a dolphin lexicon.
Well, that's the thing about Heart Taste. That's why you can't talk to him and he can. He understands what they mean by it.
He didn't know what they were saying. He was trying to look
He's got
cool.
the heart ring. Of course he knows what they're saying.
Man,
how can you say
that's
this?
That's a pink ring
this
he
is
won
slander.
in a vending machine.
This is
and
slander,
he's just
Tasteless.
using that because he doesn't have a cool power and he's trying to fit in.
What's your power? Taming lions, Tasteless?
Yeah, my blazers were dry cleaning, so we had to use the emergency blazer to keep behind glass.
That looks good, man. It looks like you went over and stole it from some guy directing a circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his curly mustache and stuff and his funny
He's like waving his wand, about to tell the tigers to go through the flaming hoop, and Tasteless runs up and takes the blazer.
It's my blazer.
But the blazer is what they teach the lion not to eat him because of, and he died. That's it.
Now, we are going to get closer to this game. Happy, not a shocker here that they brought him out first.
Yeah, no, he's a solid Terran. He's been doing really, really well. And, it's pretty smart to start off with a pretty strong Terran. Especially on a map like Tal'Dorei Malter.
Yeah. Now, I really do have a lot of respect for Happy, and I think this is probably the best choice possible for Hoseo.
Mm-hmm.
For a first strong player, get a Terran out there. They're probably going to use, I think their Protosses are are their strongest there on NS Socio, and I think that's what they're saving for the ending.
I would tend to agree with you, Tasteless.
Now,
not always, but it would be what I tend to do.
Well, that would be that 10% of the time that you're wrong. Now, we're going to go take a look at the other player here from IM. Now, right now, IM is in a funny position because they know that they're in a difficult place right now.
Yep.
They know that this is going to be a tough series to take them on.
Very much so. Now, look at this. Sage coming out first. Sage, so good. I cannot actually wait for this. Notice that his record is pretty astounding, but he hasn't made it into GSL yet.
Yeah.
This poor nerd dies to lesser nerds in Code B all the time.
Well, Code B is so hard.
Yeah, man. You get someone in there that's like, I'm going to all in 3 games in a row in weird ways. And then someone like Sage trying to be smart and play his best.
Well,
and
Kodas,
sometimes it gets caught off guard, man. Hasn't been able to get in yet.
Kodas is a little bit more consistent, but in play style because it's more refined. You have a little bit more randomness in Code B.
You know, one thing I really like about Sage Tasteless is he was terrible back when StarCraft 2 was first released and during the beta. He was high masters or whatever the top league was at the time, but I hit him all the time on the ladder, and he was actually like a free win. And he has evolved into this godly smart Protoss. He shows that hard work and dedication to studying the game.
That's the only way to get good. A lot of people like to throw around, oh, he's just talented.
No, he was terrible.
No, you've got to work really, really hard. All right, the game is loading, and this is going to be our first match of today's Team League. Happy against Sage. Happy, a solid pick here from IM. Sage, one of the best players on Hostio. Who's going to win? We're going to find out momentarily here at the GSL Team League. And we're off here in the upper right.
I am happy.
Not wasting any time.
I know. We got that name out right away. And now down to the bottom right, both sharing the side of the map. We have one of the best scouting Protosses we've ever seen here at the GSL.
And it's also Seiji.
Seiji.
That's right. Seiji is very sagely tasteless.
There are a lot of NS Hostio fans here.
Yeah.
In the ice, a lot.
They're gaining quite a following. You know, they've been ripping it up, too. They do deserve it.
Well, this girl is just giggling out of control.
Oh, yeah, man.
She's just so excited she can't stop giggling and wiggling around.
Gas.
She watches StarCraft 2 with laughing gas.
Yeah. It looks like we are going to see a Nexus first from Sage.
I like it.
Strong build on this map. Normally you can hold pretty much anything, but we'll have to see how quickly Happy finds it and how he actually chooses to react.
I'm surprised we don't see this build a little bit more on this map. More on maps like Terminus Re. If you're ever gonna go Nexus first, these are maps to do it. Especially against good players who are not going to do just completely batty all-ins. Especially in the first, like, there's no way that I could see Happy doing an all-in in game number 1.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
It would have to be a reactive all-in, I do think.
Exactly.
Oh, you know, we'll see. It looks like Happy though is, as we've seen, no gas yet on that production tab. He's going to be going just for a fast expansion himself, but of course Sage is going to be a lot quicker, and he's going to feel very comfortable because of that.
So Sage definitely electing to take the right build in this team league on this map.
And the command center does drop down, so he's not going to have any chance to really all-in his opponent from here. So Sage, if he actually gets to scout that, and we'll have to see what sort of scout pattern he goes on with his probe to try to avoid any Marines out there. But if he gets to scout it, he is going to be in actually great shape, because if you don't know exactly what they're doing, you have to make a lot of units pretty quickly.
Yeah. Now, the only disadvantage with some builds like this is that you're going to get your tech out. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Marine is going too, so the probe is going to get in and see exactly what's going on. The probe has seen the command center, and now he knows exactly how to counter this, sending up a bunch of probes. That bunker only about halfway done so far. And I love this. He has sent up just enough probes that this should be no problem.
And I don't think this was ever a bunker rush he intended to actually have win the game.
Oh, absolutely.
It was just a rush that he wanted to have where the probes would have to come out a little bit quicker.
Zealot is going to go to work on that bunker. It's going to have to get canceled. And he knows what's going on now. Sage has done an amazing job. His probe got in and it got out. And I'm sure that we will just see nonstop scouting here. And in fact, he's already setting up his Zealot, Tasteless. I love moves like this. To poke with the Zealot, then make the probe run by. One of my favorite things to do against someone who doesn't wall in.
Yeah, you might as well move in there, be a little bit aggressive. Marines are not exactly good against Zealots.
Oh, now watch this,
And,
Tasteless.
you know,
No, you don't send the probe first.
He might send the probe in there after the Zealot
Yes, exactly.
to get some scouting in there.
Oh, and, well, he sees the bunker and 4 Marines with good micro, so he does opt to pull back. Correct decision, but it's great that he tried that. A lot of times you get away with that. If you get a swipe off, then they frantically run backwards, and sometimes you can sneak that probe and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's a really good move. Now we have the 3 barracks on the way here. Bunker's up. And he's going to go ahead and get concussive shells. I'm a bit curious on this map and this situation, since they both fast expanded, when Protoss takes the 3rd base. I guess it would be around the same time when Terran's going to do that.
Well, you know, that's it matters what kind of units you want to go. If you're going to go Colossus, that's not going to be as smart an idea. If you're going to go Twilight Council, that's going to be a lot easier to do quickly. Now, we do have Twilight Council tech being made, and I do think because he's taken 4 gases, he's going to rush up 2 Dark Templars pretty quickly here. If he doesn't, I'm going to be just slightly surprised. And on the production tab, we do see the Dark Shrine going up. Very nice build by Sage, knowing that his opponent can't have any cloaked units coming at him anytime soon after that quick expansion. Going to go ahead and abuse that by making quick high templars.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Ooh, he's even... Oh, this is so awesome, man. He's either going to get an Observer to use a Pylon to get DTs into the main base.
Or drop.
Or, yeah, possibly a drop as well. So that is why we see the Robo going up. It has not been scanned. Things are looking up for Sage. Very smart play so far. Very smart build order.
It's also a good spread of buildings as well.
Yeah.
He has the robotics facility in the opposite location of the Dark Templar Shrine, or the Dark Shrine, rather.
It'd take 3 scans to see all his tech.
Yeah.
And that's always
It's a lot
nice.
of mules.
That is a lot of mules. And, hey, go ahead, scan 3 times. Then my DTs are going to be even better.
Pylon. Pylon's going up here for the Protoss. He's at 58 supply right now. The Terran right now at about 64 supply.
That's right, quite close. And it is a Warp Prism on the way. The Dark Shrine just finishing up right now. So the Warp Prism's just going to be a little bit late for that. And I would not be surprised to see Sage throw some pylons down around the map pretty soon as well. It's very useful when you have Dark Templar tech to have pylons everywhere to get a little bit of harassment. Good turret timing. This is getting exciting.
I'm getting wiggly. Such a good match to have here. Here comes a Warp Prism. Moving up.
Right now we have no scans. One is about to get ready in the main base. And he has nothing spotting the bottom part of his base as well.
Oh, beautiful. Just out of the Terran's vision.
Yep. Warping him in without being seen.
Warping him in the bushes.
He has
and
one
look,
scan.
This is how you do it, guys. You split up the DTs everywhere. So that way they have to scan.
That's right.
So many different locations.
This is so well done by Sage. And those DTs getting tons of kills. Look at this. 8 workers killed already. And I'm surprised he's not actually aggressively going after the turret.
I think that was a miss micro there. I think he was probably back at home doing something. Now taking out the tech lab, he already took out 1. Do we have another scan? Don't forget, he can keep making DTs if he wants to.
Oh, absolutely. And he should, in fact. You should always try to keep a DT in there as long as possible. Look at that. Another scan going up. Another DT being warped in, but it looks like he may lose that Warp Prism now. A little bit of... Ooh,
barely
wow.
escapes. Nice.
Does save it, but a little bit of a misplay by Sage there. He definitely could have done more damage with those DTs if they were babysat a little bit more closely, but of course when that happens, your macro is going to falter a little bit, so you have to make that decision.
Sometimes it's okay to have your minerals build up if you're really hurting their economy.
Yes, exactly.
This is something that even the best Starcraft players in the world have a hard time with. It's knowing priority.
Yes.
What is actually, because you can't always do everything at once. If you think that that's what a perfect player looks like, it's not exactly the case. They just know what forms of APM to prioritize.
Quite true. Now, we don't have any DTs in the middle of the map, to help out against this incoming army.
That's
which I
a
see
bit
as,
surprising.
Yeah, Sage has definitely dropped the ball there a little bit. You know, this army incoming is actually very scary, especially with the ghosts in it. So I'm going to have to see how Sage does here, but he does have a Colossus on the way. Can he live long enough? And he should be able to. Nice force fields going off.
You can see Sage really doesn't want to deal with this army.
A little bit messed up on the force fields there, of course.
Yeah.
Overusing
a little bit
a couple
overkill
more.
there.
Yeah. Just 2 more than he should have. And finally warping in a DT, but realistically you want to... Oh, look at this. He has a DT behind the army and is forced to use a scan. And Happy cannot be too happy about that, Tasteless.
Yeah.
That was a very good hold. Colossus is about to pop
Is this
out.
the Marine that actually got away? Nope.
Well, looks like he might get away now. You know, the one thing you want to make sure you're doing, if you're going to do a DT build, have at least 1 or 2 in the middle of the map to slow down an incoming army and beat up their scans. You have no idea, man.
Yeah, because by the time they get to your base, they might not have a scan, and that 1 DT at your home base is going to hold off that rush.
The only time that you might want to do it slightly different is if you're planning on literally just using force fields to keep them at bay for a little bit so that you can quickly tech up. So anyways, we do have Sage moving across the map. He does have a little bit more supply, 131 to 115 at the moment.
Now this is a pretty well timed out build. He did the DT rush to slow down his opponent's economy. Now he can do a timing attack over here, take out at least the refinery, maybe more.
And, you know, medevacs were not able to be made. He's already making the Vikings. It's something you have to do in these positions. This is rotationally symmetric. You can, with a Colossus, just walk down your ramp and start poking the Terran expansion. And that really forces low medevac play from Terran. So Sage really showing his understanding of what should be done in these spots in this matchup.
Note he's blocked the landing of the orbital. Now he's going after some SCVs. So this is, again, a very nice play. Just these little moves here to slow down his opponent's economy.
Yeah. I mean, it's great play, man. It's totally worth the DTs to make him keep using his scans to slow things down, get a few kills here and there. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, Terran now has his third base. He got a little bit behind the Protoss here. Happy's not doing a bad job at all, though, in the way he's been handling this game.
I like that little move up to take out the turret, Tasteless, I have to say. You know, that's going to allow him to have that bottom part of that base dark once again, and possibly warp in more DTs. We'll see what he ends up doing with that. And look at that, just non-stop, Tasteless, with this DT harassment.
So sexy. That's how you want to do it. I mean, even if the DT only kills, let's say, 4 or 5 SCVs, that's still worth it.
Well, right now we have him. He's going to come up here and poke once again. Thermal Lance is not done yet, so these pokes aren't as deadly as they could be. Oh, look at that, blinking right up. That's an interesting little move. And he's going to
what he
get
can do is
out of
just
there.
take out little SCVs here, turrets,
Yeah.
etc.
And look at that, taking no damage, just very efficient poking with his extra APM. Meantime, he is macroing really well, taking a 4th base before the Terran, which is pretty awesome to do. Medevacs, though, are finally popping out, so Happy's going to have to start really harassing to try to get himself in a better position here. He's already down 20 supply.
You know how with glass, every time you hit glass, like even reasonably hard, it causes micro fractures in it? That's what we're seeing here with the way Sage is taking on Happy. He's causing these micro fractures in his economy.
You know,
well, now a major one with a lift to this, but up until now.
Well, he's got to be careful. Here we go. This it's coming in. They do have 1-1 upgrades against just the 1-0 of Happy, but this may have been
That's
a big
just too much
mistake.
Terran stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Sage was ahead the entire time until now. He did not need to engage there.
That EMP Tasteless took out all that Sentry energy, and he was not able to dictate that battle.
And he's going to intercept it.
Uh-oh. He's in a lot of trouble now, blinking towards the army. Going to lose all his sentries. He's already lost all his Colossus. Definitely not a good spot there for Sage. Surprised he stepped into that while taking a 4th base. Yeah, I don't know, man. Taking a 4th base and attacking at the same time sometimes is a little bit overboard. You can definitely poke, but he committed there. Well, this is a big moment in the game.
Defining moment here. It's like parroting what you just said.
Yeah.
We have force fields coming up here. The Protoss might have enough to handle this, but note the Colossus count is going to be reset once again. Yeah. A little bit sloppy there by Happy, though, losing his Vikings along with that.
Indeed it was, and these Marauders have taken a lot of damage.
He needs to blink forward here if he's really going to engage this. There you go.
There you go. Turning down the Medivacs is oftentimes very smart here, especially since you just kill off the Vikings. That starport's really going to be strained for what it can actually build. And with 2 Robos, that's exactly what you want, man. You can make a lot of Colossus, and he's going to be like, well, I don't have Medivacs or Vikings. Uh-oh.
Another Colossus on the way now. Nice engagement here from Sage.
Interesting, targeting that the orbital as opposed to SCDs.
You know what? Actually, I think he might just have too much. Terran had an opportunity, but way overextended himself with the counterattack. He got a little bit too eager. Clearly, Sage's got good macro, and wow, okay. GG. I didn't actually expect the game to end like that. But
yeah, no, that was
a little
just
weird.
Kept going. You know, all of the reason why that game happened like it just happened is Sage's DT harassment. He got a quicker expo up. He teched completely unabated. Went ahead, harassed, did some damage. Didn't even have to do a lot. Then stopped the first timing attack, delayed the third base. He got his third up quicker as well as his original natural up quicker. I mean, when you add that all together along with good macro, along with relatively good attack timings, except for that one at the third base.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you need, man, as a Protoss player against a Terran.
Once again, the IM team here in a little bit of an awkward position. The first player losing. Now they're going to have to pick who's going to come out next. And as we've seen, at least actually, I will even say in almost all the team leagues, we've seen some weird choices. But in this team league especially, we've seen them pick out, not the best players. I don't know who they're going to pick out. Who do you think?
Okay. If IM wants to win this war, you bring out Younghwa right this second. He is one of the absolute greatest PvPs in the world. He's the guy who invented the 3-stalker rush, okay? This guy actually gets it. He knows what he's doing. Sage is the scariest player on NSO.
I 100%
get
agree
him
with
out
you.
of there.
Get
I would not
Sage
even
out of that.
I wouldn't risk Nestea. I wouldn't risk MVP. These are players Sage can beat, but you give him a very tight mirror matchup with one of the best mirror matchup players in the world, Younghwa, and I think that you have a very good shot at knocking him out.
I would 100% agree with you. Younghwa is so solid PvP. He's the guy that taught us PvP, and probably a lot of you at home, if you watch those games with the 3-stalker rush, it's one of the best ways to stop a 4-gate. And I don't know if Sage is as good as Younghwa's PvP, but I do think Younghwa is definitely a good choice. We're going to find out who it is, though. Let's see. Artosis and I are always wrong with who they actually end up picking.
Well, with IM, we are, Tasis.
Yeah, with IM. Well, we're actually right. They're just wrong. Okay, and here we go. We're going to have Lucira come out here.
Lucira.
Not a terrible choice.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to use the PvP card, the Younghwa card, go ahead. Use Lucira. I would say that if I were not to have such a great PvP on my team, I would put out someone that enforces his will through Zerg. Because that's just a hard match for absolutely anyone in the world. And right now, in Korea, the metagame does dictate that Zerg versus Protoss is very hard for Protoss.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky matchup, especially on big maps.
Yes, exactly.
And our map is going to be Antigua Shipyard, so maybe Lucira can do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's someone that can.
If they throw out MVP, I would be concerned.
Yes.
I would be like, okay, look, he's good, but this does not make any sense.
Yeah, I would much prefer to see Younghwa, just because I'm the sickest Younghwa PvP fan. But anyways, I mean, Lucira, this is not like the picks we've seen before from them that were just like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? So that's good.
Lucira is a damn good player. He's pretty scary, PvZ. We haven't seen a ton of Younghwa's PvZ, but we won a little bit. One of the few IM fans right now, most of them here for Hosio.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Nanoa just walked in, too.
Nanoa's here. He's looking at me.
I'm looking at him. He's looking at me.
He's waving at me.
I'm waving at him.
I gave him a wink.
Yeah.
I gave him one of my much sought-after winks.
Yeah, dude. I try to catch your winks. Like when I see you're about to wink at someone, like
you're there with,
jump in front.
You're there with your butterfly net trying to catch him.
I can jar it up and sell it on eBay. Get $1,000 nerd dollars for it.
Why does Sage look like he's staring us down right now?
He's like, watch this.
All right, Sage.
Now,
one of the guys you at home might not be as familiar with. He is a very formidable Protoss player. He's not in Codas yet.
Yes.
But he certainly will be soon
Watch
in the
his
future.
games if you're a Protoss, though. He's someone you should absolutely be learning from. I love his approach to the game.
Yeah,
absolutely in love with it.
Well, it's just based off acquiring information and then responding to that. And frankly, we don't see that enough from a lot of these other players, especially other Protoss players.
Quite true. So, I want to talk about this map and the current trends of Zerg versus Protoss in Korea. The map is Antigua Shipyard, and in case you guys haven't played, this is a new ladder map. A map that you look at it and you say, okay, this is a fast expansion map. Everyone in the world in every matchup should be fast expanding here. It's a gigantic map. You can wall in extremely easily on Forge expands against Zerg, and that's kind of what dictates it. Now, of course, you can do something like a 3-gate expand or just a one-base type of play, but you know, this map just lends itself to that style of the quick expansion. Now, a problem with that is, first off, the third is very close to the natural, which can be good and bad for both races for various reasons.
Right.
But Zergs are going to feel more comfortable taking that quickly because it's going to be easier to defend against any rushes. Now, currently in ZVP, Zergs are all about no gas against the Forge Fast expansions into a third base into like 70 drones or so, into just, hey, I have too many units all game long. And I mean, you can see this play from a few Zergs that we've seen in the GSL. Also, very notably, Liquid Ret did it actually against Nanoa in the European Invitational at Blizzard, and against some other players as well. It's intensely hard, and the Protosses in Korea right now are having a very hard time with it. So, if Sage chooses to go ahead and do a Forge Fast expansion, I'm expecting we're going to see, probably as a follow-up, double Stargate play.
We are going to have a little bit of delay because Lucera is now walking past me, so he might have to do his...
Where's he going?
I don't know. He's going to escape. Security has to grab him and hold him down. He's like,
It's
like, shove him in the booth.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised to see Stargate play. We've seen it from Sage before.
I think it would actually be pretty good on this map.
I like some of the Stargate play that we've been seeing, but at the same time, with a third base so close, if you do a decent creep spread, all your queens are going to be all over the place. I don't know. It's hard to say, but some of these Warp Gate timing attacks that come out after a Forge Fast expansion against these quick 3-base Zergs, they just don't really work anymore. You know, if the Zerg has any inkling of what's coming...
People have enough experience now.
And with those extra drones, man, the macro.
You remember back in StarCraft 1, it was like very early StarCraft 1. There was always that push Terran would do where they'd make the bunkers outside the Zergs. Expansion, remember this? But eventually, and it was good at the time, but eventually people just, they've seen it before.
They know how many drones they can get,
they're like,
what units they
I
need.
stop at like 36 drones, and then I just make Zerglings and attack it. So I think that's what you're talking about with that. Same kind of metagame scenario. We're going to have a coach interview now. Enjoy.
일단은 마지막 경기이기 때문에 뭐 어떻게 보면 마지막 경기가 될 수도 있고 정말 또 좋은 기회가 될 수도 있거든요. 그래서 플레이오프에 진출할 수도 있는 기회가 될 수도 있는 경기인데 최선을 다해서 좋은 경기 보여드리도록 정말 열심히 노력하겠습니다. 그리고 NS 호서가 약간 다커스라고 해야 되나? 좋은 성적을 내고 있어요. 현재 조 1위를 달리고 있고 대부분의 뭐 팬들이나 관계자분들이 NS 호서가 약하다고 생각을 했을지언정 저는 단 한 번도 약하다 생각을 한 적이 없어요. 시즌이 시작하면서부터도 그랬고 항상 준비를 또 오래 해왔던 팀인 걸 제가 또 잘 알고 있고 누구보다 그렇기 때문에 오늘 경기 역시 뭐 방심하거나 절대 일체 그런 거 없이 정말 최선을 다해서 열심히 좋은 경기 보일 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 저번 경기도 그랬고요. 준비를 했고 해왔었고 오늘 역시 준비하고 있는 상태고요. 언제든 준비한 대로 그런 상황이 펼쳐지게 되면은 언제든 기용할 생각입니다. 왜냐면 아끼고 안 쓰고 그런 게 아니라 저번 경기 같은 경우도 정해진 어떤 상황이나 그런 시나리오가 있었는데 그 시나리오가 나오지 않아서 나갔을 뿐이고 여러분이 또 그리고 임재덕 카드가 굉장히 또 관심사긴 한데 뭐 임재덕 본인도 그렇고 저도 그렇고 언제든 기회만 된다면 뭐 확실한 카드이기 때문에 쓸 생각입니다. NS 호서 감독님은 오랜 덫이자 그리고 좋은 친구거든요. 영식이한테 정말 미안하지만 그동안 너무 잘해왔고 오늘은 우리가 이겼으면 좋겠어요. 그래서 영식이가 오랫동안 준비한 것도 제가 너무 잘 알고 있고 오늘은 우정을 떠나서 정말 좋은 승부 한번 펼쳤으면 좋겠고 우리가 이기겠습니다. IM 화이팅!
저희가 저번 팀전에 끝나고 좀 시간이 많이 남아서 좀 휴식도 좀 취하고 좀 여유로운 생활을 하고 하다가 이제 개인전에 좀 신경을 쓰려고 했었는데 개인전에서 선수들이 다 떨어지더라고요. 그래서 일정이 딱히 없어서 요번에 이제 IM 팀 좀 강한 팀을 상대하니까 열심히 많이 준비를 했고요. IM 팀이 이제 요번에 저희한테 지면 떨어지는 걸 알고 있어요. 근데 IM 팀 감독님하고도 저희 팀 창단하기 전서부터 많이 친한 사이라서 같이 올라갔으면 좋겠지만 저희도 뭐 진출은 확정이긴 한데 아직도 조 1위로 진출은 확정이 아니라서 저희도 열심히 해볼 생각입니다. 네. 우경천 선수가 이제 탈다른이라는 맵을 엄청 좋아하고 자신 있어 하는데 요번 첫 선봉의 맵이 탈다른이라서 우경천 선수를 이제 내보냈고 자신 있어 하더라고요. 요번에 이제 안우지 선수랑 경기를 하는데 테란전도 그렇고 그 선수가 이제 저그전도 잘하고 모든 정적순에는 이제 자신 있는 선수다 보니까 1킬 이상의 좀 성적을 내기 위해서 우경천 선수를 내보냈습니다. 동훈아, 너희 팀이 개인전에서 다 이제 해먹고 팀 리그까지 우승하려는 건 너무 욕심이 아닌가 싶다. 그래서 요 팀 리그는 우리가 꼭 결승 가서 우승을 할 테니, 그래서 나중에 한번 소주 한잔 살 테니까 오늘은 좋은 경기는 하되 우리가 승리를 해서 조 1위를 확정 지어야 되겠다. 동훈아, 잘하자.
Well, I gotta say that the interview of the IM coach was my least favorite interview I've ever seen in my entire life. It was absolutely, without a doubt, the worst.
Well, I'm just surprised he still hasn't sent out an ST.
Yeah, he says he's ready to, yet he doesn't do it, and they're losing, so that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Again, it's not that we just want to see an ST play, guys. It's that he's like the best player in the world, and then they're almost out of the team league, and it's like, well.
And he also said that he knew NS Hoso would be this good. No one knew that. Not even.
I don't know
NS
if
Hoso.
anybody really.
Everyone was actually like they're a free win for the first 3 matches, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind, they're so good." And now he's like, "I always knew, and I'm always ready for Nesty." No, stop lying. It's stupid.
I think NS Hoso, they probably would end this being like, well, we know we're good, but I don't know how we're actually going to rank up.
Yeah, I think that's quite true. And now they're like, actually, hey, you guys have like the deepest lineup.
I know, it's
I can't believe how deep your lineup is. It's like deeper than StarTale's lineup. It doesn't even make sense.
It's pretty amazing. Now, Lucira has actually, if you look at the past 2 weeks or so, had a pretty tough time. Almost won a championship.
That's true.
Then
He
lost.
up and down, man.
Then he went to up and down. Now he's here today, but is he going to have success? I don't know.
I know, man.
I mean, that's actually a lot of baggage.
In the last few weeks, he's only won $20K. I mean, it's a rough life.
It
Poor
is.
guy.
He could have won. He could have won $50K, but I mean, now to be in up and down matches where he won't even be able to make.
He's not going to make anything.
He won't even be making Ks.
That's not okay at all.
That's not okay. So, I don't know how good he is psychologically, what kind of shape he's in right now, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I might be looking into it too much.
He's still all smiley, so I don't know. I think he'll be fine.
He's a pretty upbeat guy.
Yeah, he is. It took him a while to get back into the GSL after being knocked out in Season 1, and I mean, he's kept a good attitude all throughout, so I think he'll be fine. I think he'll just train harder. He has a really great attitude from the times I've talked to him.
Sage, of course, is riding on a wave right now. Every time we see this guy, he kicks ass. As far as him being on cameras, he does not lose. He's actually somebody who does much better under pressure. Now, obviously, there's pressure in Code B, but it's a little bit different. When you're actually on TV
the pressure
playing,
is not to lose someone much worse
there's a camera
than you.
in your face like this.
Yeah.
It's not easy to play under. All right, now the countdown is starting. Oh, my God. We're going to do this.
So excited.
Sage against Lucira. Sage, sort of a dark horse player because he just keeps killing people.
Yeah.
Lucira has been established as one of the best Zergs in the world. Let's do this. Head-to-head here. I am against NS Hoso here at the GSL.